Today's topic is Coptic and the sounds of Coptic. I have been learning Coptic for some time, and one of the biggest issues with learning Coptic is how did they actually speak it? We don't really have a clear answer. We know some things for certain, and by we I mean people that aren't me, but collectively, we as a collective know that some letters were definitely said the way that they are said to have been said. For example, M. M was definitely an M. And let's see, what else was there? Maybe F or S were definitely those sounds. So we have real information and knowledge which tells us what those sounds were like. So it's not a complete mystery, but there are many different features and letters that have people stumped, confused, or have their own little theories about things, and there doesn't seem to be any consensus. For example, how many vowel sounds were there? Was it simply E, A, or, U, A? Or was it E, A, or, A, U? Which is a much larger phoneme inventory. The other thing is, was there length? How long were these vowel sounds? We don't really know. Now, the theory is that the I and EI, the kind of rounded E with an I, was an E sound, at least in Sahidic, so E. O and the kind of Y-looking symbol were U and sometimes a W sound. The H-looking vowel is said to be A, and the round E is said to be E. The A is A. The W-looking vowel is said to be O, and then the kind of O-looking vowel is said to be A. The question is, we don't know if that is actually what they sounded like or not. People have different theories, and many of these theories are based upon different types of research and information. When Arabic became the normal and standard language of Egypt and replaced Coptic, it had A, I, U only. So there was no E and there was no O. One thing that was seen in spelling then was a doubling of vowel sounds, and this indicated length in Arabic. But a lot of scholars and scientists and the like are not sure if these double vowels mean a lengthening or whether they mean a vowel sound, glottal stop, and vowel sound, or simply vowel sound, glottal stop. A glottal stop, for those who may not know the term, is just that sound. For example, uh-oh, that uh-oh, that is a glottal stop. A stop is anything that stops air from coming out. There are also some issues with the consonant. For example, there is a 6-looking symbol that is often said as ch, but it is said that it used to represent yeah. It appears in the word camel, which is obviously a k sound or a k sound, maybe. But if it was a camel, it might not make as much sense to have it in English as camel. So camel might make more sense, but that's just something I have come up with. And etymologies are funny anyway. The other one is the kind of like a cross, and then it has a little part at the bottom of it. And that is often said as j, but it is also said that it was probably a t sound. T. So that is a palatal sound, I believe. So palatal is anything that is touching your palate in your mouth. The problem is, we simply don't know. There is also a B that looks like a B, and often people use it as a V sound. So, for example, hob, or something like that. But it is also said as a b, and it could also be a w sound. Which one was it? I don't know. But there have been cases where the w using the O and the Y looking symbol has been replaced, accidentally or not, with the B in writing. And this is where we get some of our other clues for writing, because some of these letters are, accidentally or not, used in place of others. There are also dialectal differences, and because this was a large period of time, there might have been a lot of change in sounds as well. The sound of the H-looking vowel could be A. It also could be E, which is what it is, I believe, sometimes in some forms of Bahiric. It also could be A. Are the double vowel sounds an elongation, or are they not an elongation? Could it be that the E-looking E and the H-looking E are the same sound in quality, but they tell us a different story in terms of the length? Or could they be a different quality and the length is shown via the use of doubles? Also, could it be that there isn't length at all and that they are all short or long based upon where they are in the word, and so long and short vowels were not shown? I don't know. I don't have the answers. So the way that I play it and the way that I try and speak is the following. I, or I, E, I, whatever, I say as I, E. Not I as in the name, but E. The H-looking letter, I say that as E. The E-looking letter, I say that as E. Sometimes I accidentally vary these, but I don't think too much about it. A is A. U is U. The O, which looks like a W, that is, I say as O. And the little one I say is O, just like that. And for the consonants, I tend to say M as M, N as N, and most of them as they are said. I often say the 6-looking letter as G, these days that is, and I have been trying to do the little X with the line at the bottom as a T sound, and the B I often just leave it a bit loose, I suppose. So it's not a V, it's not a W, it's not a B, it's just a W. Something like that. And then for the doubles, I use it like this. I will say, for example, if it's O, so long or, I will say O. So it's actually O, glottal stop, and then a schwa, so a sound. Or. Now, that might not be correct in the slightest, but because we don't have an official this is how it should be spoken, at least for Sahidic, that's what I go with myself. Anyway, I hope you have found this helpful, interesting, something. I don't have any answers. I just wanted to talk about the fact that there is this kind of division and different theories on things. But really, I don't think it matters too much. Just kind of pick a style and go with it. And eventually, if they find something that lets us know, or if they have compelling evidence, change it. Just edit it later. Because learning it and speaking is better than not learning it and not speaking. Anyway, thank you for watching, and like, subscribe, and buy yourself a cupcake.